yourself ready for a trip through McDonald land. Take along a friend and grab a hold of Ronald's hand. Follow Ronald McDonald through the land of apple pie trees. And don't be surprised if you meet Big Mac and Big Cheese. There's thick shake volcanoes, you'll even find a French fry thatch. Now just turn around and see if you won't find a hamburger patch as you're heading for a McDonald's in McDonald land, a McDonald's in McDonald land, a McDonald's.
BC, good day to you. Dusty Visions, aka Dom, aka Dusty Visions, back with yet another video, Seeking a Thread. And I'm continuing my psych series I'm calling the ABCs of Psych. Today with a focus that has to do a little bit about purging records, but I'm calling this my second-rate psych. And what does that mean? Well, it's something I've sort of come up with in my own head. It's sort of the middle tier 60s psych, and I'm mainly talking about US Psych here today. I have to go into another video probably on international, UK, South American, Dutch, you name it. But today I'm mainly talking about American and Canadian, North American psych, and second rate. So some of these will be records that have some great tracks on it, but some other like total throwaways, and maybe the record's worth keeping for that reason. Others are second rate in the fact that the one or two tracks that might be good aren't going to justify them being around in my collection anymore, because it is time to make some room. I don't know where I'm going anymore with space and records, so let's get into it, and hopefully you discover some things here. I'm discovering more about records I have that I haven't given enough chance to, and some of these are going to be a big purge that I'll talk about in the future, and people can maybe trade or buy from me or not, but the idea is to sort of trim down a few things. So let's get into sort of the records that are second rate that I think might go away, or maybe I'll keep, and then the next batch will be sort of the ones I'm definitely keeping, and they're not the best psych titles out there, but they're good. So let's start. Here's Troika. This is a Western Canadian group with some Scandinavian ties to it, and this is on the Cotillion label 1970. This has got some really cool instrumental sort of rural things happening, some really great guitar, but then there's the vocals on some of this is horrible. The song Natural, I think it is just, it's tough to get past it. And then the next track, Early Morning, has this beautiful, serene guitar to it. As I said, it's on the Cotillion label. And I have notes on some of these things. What did I write? Because I was listening to all these, and I said, yeah, number 2 sucks. The instrumental tracks are big yes. And we'll see. Is this one going to stick around? I don't know. I think this might stick. Because I things that are like Canadian records I really am after. And this has got some really cool vibes to it when the vocals aren't horrible. Troika, their only album. This one I think is going. Now this is sort of a folk psych. This is Marcus. This is Rusty Evans of Psychedelic Soul. Why am I forgetting the name of it? Psychedelic Soul. And also of The Deep, of course. This thing is just, I don't know, this is super namby-pamby. Super soft. The vocal at times is good, but after a whole album of it, it gets really a bit too much. Now, it's credited to produce and arranged by Larry Fallon. I'm almost positive. I'll put some more research into this and include it right now, but I'm pretty sure this is Rusty Evans. It's on the Kinetic label, which is like a Columbia or CBS subsidiary. I don't know what else is on this. It's like really dated folk psych. And I don't think it's gonna stick. Like the freak scene. The freak scene, right? Let's find it real quick. Because I know it's right here. Yeah, the freak scene, Psychedelic Soul. My mono copy. Yeah, I knew I had it. That's one of the earliest Psych records I discovered, actually. Alright, moving on. I know a lot of VC likes this. This is the first H.P. Lovecraft out of, I think, Chicago, on the Phillips label. I don't know, there's cool parts to this. I like the ambition of it, but I don't think it's going to stick around. I had the second album, and I already got rid of that. That one didn't do it for me, but I thought this one did. What did I write? I put wanky, namby-pamby again, a little cheesy. This one may go. This is on the gray Phillips label. This is second rate to me. Stay tuned if you're interested. Here's one I think I'm going to keep. It's a reissue of a super rare record, Morley Gray. Now this includes bonus tracks that are on the original Private Press. This is like a power trio at times. It sort of has a boogie thing going on. I wrote all kinds of notes about this because the tracks, it really differentiates. This is the Sundays reissue, and it's a double with bonus tracks. And I wrote down that it gets better as it goes on. It's not quite the monster that it's purported to be, but I'll probably keep it. It's a reissue. I don't think it's really going for much anyway. I kind of feel like if I'm going to purge a record, I want to really either hate it and I just don't want it around. I want it to be maybe something that's okay, but it's worth money, so it's like not worth keeping around. If it's good and like I like parts of it, but not worth anything, I might as well keep it. What am I going to get for it? So anyway, here's one I think I'm going to sell. October Country. I know there's a lot of lovers of this record, and I really like the smoke way better. This is, of course, Michael Lloyd produced, and it's more pop than anything. Their version of Cowboys and Indians is great. Or no, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Cowboys and Indians they do, but the song October Country is great. And Cowboys and Indians is good. The rest of it is just a little too straight pop for me. I mean, it's just the cover. I want to keep it. It's on the Epic label. These are decisions that are still to be made. This is second rate, though. Here's one that's probably going to go. Keeping the first album. The Paupers. I think I mentioned this in my Canadian Verve forecast. Bad Lounge Act I wrote. There is a good long psych jam I wrote on this. I'm not sure which track it was. Probably the longest one on here. I think I'm going to keep the first one. Magic People, I believe it is. Here's one I'm definitely going to... This is funny, I don't know why I put this in the sort of lesser pile, but this is great. Yellow Pages. There's some great songs on this, including the first one, The Two of Us. And their singles are good, too. On the Uni label. Uni, of course, got some solid records. Always on the old Uni pack. This is going to stay. Because, actually, I used to see this all the time at my local store. Shout out to Angry Mom. We used to have multiple copies of this sitting around. And I haven't seen it in a long time now. And I don't know if I think it's still pretty cheap. This one, I don't know, this probably should be in my good pile. But it's second rate because there is some stuff on here that I think drags the album down a bit. Boogie Woogie Baby, no. I think was the bad one. But I think the first three tracks are all great. They do Devil Woman. Oh, yeah, they do I'm a Man. No more versions of I'm a Man. But anyway, the rest of this is good. But it's second rate in that it's not like strong all the way through. But the good parts keep it good. Here's a more recent reissue. This is a band out of Stockton, California. They call it Punkadelic. Only one, I think, official single. It's called Wildwood, Plastic People. On the Outsider label, which can be hit or miss, even though it is like a division of Gerson, which is great. Yeah. The organ sound on this gets to be a little bit too much. It says RIYL, Public Nuisance, amazing. The Doors, Music Machine, Steppenwolf, Hunger. All in all, it's only okay. Don't know if it's going to stick around. It's from 68 to 70. It sort of wears out its welcome after a while. I wrote down bad vocals. So, we'll see. Again, final decisions to be made. Here's another one where I'm keeping the first album, getting rid of the second one. It's The Collectors, another Canadian group. This is a pretty cheap album. It just does not work. There's blues rock on this, yeah. But the first album I thought I was going to get rid of, and I decided to keep it. And I may try to even upgrade that one because my cover's not too good. But yeah, Grass and Wild Strawberries, I think it's from '69, Canadian group on the Warner 7 Arts label. The Rugbys on the Amazon label. Ironically enough, I have 2 records in this pile from the Amazon label. Yeah, it's nothing special, really. The You and I, the single, which is great. I have that 45, so I'm going to just probably keep that. I may give this one another listen because I remember feeling like there were some deep tracks to it. And I only recently, when I was going through this, I only listened to like half of this. Yeah. Pop Psych, I wrote down also. So this next one is a rare one, and I got it for way under its value. I was really into this because I love the White Whale label, and unfortunately, I didn't do all of my due diligence on this, and I thought that the big detractor of this was not going to bother me as much as it did, but I was wrong. It's John's Children on White Whale. I got it for undervalue. I think it sells for more. This is a beautiful copy. If you don't know this, it's Mark Bolan's, the band he was in, but he's by this point was no longer in it. It was recorded in '67. It's Smash Blocked, I think, in the UK. Well, actually, that was the compilation of singles, I think. This only came out in the US. This is not a UK version of this. It came out later. It came out in 1970, but it was recorded a couple years before. And the producer, Simon Napier Bell, decided, for some damn reason, to put fake crowd noise all over every song. Now, I thought that it was not going to... I thought that the songs were going to hold up enough that I was going to keep it. And I just felt like, I love the White Whale label. This is a promo, by the way. It was not sold to me as a promo. It was sold as just a stock copy. And I thought, I love the White Whale label. I love John's Children. And I just didn't do my due diligence on this. And the songs are good, but the vocal, or the fake crowd noise takes way too much away from this. And I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. So I made a mistake. Happens. And I am selling this one. So, interested parties inquire. The John's Children singles the early singles are amazing with Bolan. And this could have been good, but no. But I love the White Whale label. Here's one I need, the first album, and it's a tough one to get. Morning Dew. This is their Lost album, and it's only okay. It's only okay. There are versions of songs on the Roulette album, and those are kind of cool. But like the regular editions from the regular versions from the album just kill it. So the Lost album, side A and side B, not all that great. Just didn't do it for me. This is a Lion reissue. It's a nice package. So this one I will sell. And here's the other one on Amazon, Lazarus. This is just very middle of the road, very second rate. Did I make notes? I didn't make notes on this one. I got this recently. I showed this recently, and it was one of those situations where I probably only got it because I was looking to support the store, and I was like, this may grow on me, or the artwork kind of sucks. It's not horrible, actually. There's some cool organ in it. It has a different vibe. Like, I can't really think of anything to compare it to. It's definitely sort of straight psych. It a little bit tinged hard rock. It's from... Get a year on this, if I can. Yeah, there's not much known about this band, and the Rugby label is sort of a mysterious one. In any case, I am going to sell this one. There's some cool things to it. Check it out. I don't know. But it's second rate. One more, and I think this one has some people out there who like it or are quite into this, but to me, subpar vocals, basic psych, very basic, and it's Ivory on the Tetragammon, right? Tetragammon? Tetragrammaton Records, of course, the Deep Purple label. It's a nice promo copy. It just was not... this one's like a decent decent value to it. So I'm going to sell this one. It's just way too average for me. I didn't really enjoy the woman's vocals. And I think this is a West Coast band. I gave it like 2 tries. I'm pretty sure this one's going. So, second rate psych. Alright, so now this next pile is the good stuff that I'm definitely keeping upon investigation. Though some of it is not top tier, well, second rate, but sort of the good side of second rate. Yays and Nays. This is a fun, originally a private press, almost like a Mamas and Papas vocal group, doing goofy stuff. The song If on the second side, yeah, I really dug. And I always love the 60s sleeves. They're always building every group up like they're going to take over the world and be the next Beatles. It's always so much fun. The sleeve notes on this are particularly hokey. But this is another line reissue. This caught me by surprise. Sort of loose and slapdash and haphazard. And a little garagey, but with like a vocal heavy sound. And where are they from? This talks about the ISM tag, Incredible Strange Music. Yeah, it has that vibe. It doesn't quite sound like anything else. These people were truly up to something else. Good album. Days and Nays. I think this is a pretty cheap reissue. The original is very rare.
And now long shiny hair.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
You know, Countman
Easy now, easy.
wouldn't have no reason to care
Yeah.
if it wasn't for us women.
Here's another one sort of in the same vein, but this one sounds more like a studio project. It's the Frederick. I think this is one of the unofficial reissues. There are a couple of versions of this. Mega rare album. Took a few listens to this to grow on me. Why am I not getting this out? Here we go. And really tight group, really great. What stood out to me was this guy Steve, who plays 12-string melodica, sitar, and olivette. That was a cool addition to this. Again, it has a sort of millennium, sort of pop psych project, studio project thing going on with it. This is out of Michigan, and it was recorded in '67. Pretty solid stuff. You can find this, I think. I think there is an official reissue of this. This cover looks totally like you'd see this and probably think nothing of it, but the original is quite rare. By the Frederick. This is second rate, but like good.
Never has to move a muscle, and his servants bring him all that he needs. His neighbors are content to call him lazy, though they're jealous at the life he leads. Henry Adams, you're our man. What you know will understand. Henry Adams. Henry Adams.
This one is second rate, but it's creeping up. This is amazing, I think. Group Image. New York City group. Only album they released in the Community 3 label. I don't know if it's a private label or not, I forget. Wow, the singer, Sheila Darla, the multiple vocalists on this. And the song Haya, which is, there's a single of it, this is the extended cut on here, 608, is one of the best psych tracks I've ever heard. And I'm going to insert that, parts of it. It gets completely unhinged. She's roaring, she's screaming, and it's good. She's doing it the right way. And the whole sound of it. And the rest of it's good too. The other vocals are good. There's some sort of low points. But this is a cheap record. It's like privately pressed. I don't know how many they would have made, but it's not expensive. This was $10. And this one I got recently, actually. But I looked at it, and I've seen it before, but this cover just does not sell it. You see this, and it's like, this looks like some mid-70s sort of like, glam wannabe or something like that. I don't know. Like, sort of like a Sparks knockoff. And then you see the back, and apparently they played with the Dead. I looked up the whole story about them. And they had some opportunities. This is from '68. Didn't go anywhere, but, not just the song Haya, the rest of it is truly freaky and damaged stuff. Great. All right, these next two are shout out to one of my favorite channels, Psychederic. He's always, he's always turned me on to something, and he's just, he's on top of it. So he's been doing these mixes, which have been great, really well produced and well done. And this next one, I don't know if I've seen before. Maybe I've seen it, but thought it was bubblegum, Bermuda Jam. I just got this for $10. Found a seller undergrading it at VGVG, and this is definitely above that. It's kind of going up in value. It's cheap, but it seems like people are trying to get more for it. I don't know if they actually will, or whether or not it's just, it truly is going up, or if it's truly a $10 or $15 record. But I got this for 10, and wow, is the first side good, including the track, Derek, you played in your mix. I think it was Good Trip Lollipop. Wow, is that good. But that whole side, the first track, really great organ sound on Hold Me. I love this. And I guess, according to what it tells us here, it's Englishman, Portuguese, Australian, and American. I don't know if it's true. Who the hell are the Bermuda Jam? I don't know, but it's awesome. The second side was only okay. So I sort of would put this in the second rate category, but a keeper. This is a keeper. So, Bermuda Jam, self-titled on the Dino Voice label. Probably from 68. I didn't look up the years on all these. I've been bad about that lately. And I'm also throwing this in. This is in no way second rate. This is now one of my favorite folk psych records. But it's also the next to, another psychedelic shout out. The Bill Stone reissue. The video Derek put up about a year or so ago talking about this album. Had got a copy. I heard it then, and I'd never heard of it. And I never heard of it, and it blew my socks off. Yeah. Out of Maine, there's only 100 copies of these made. It's from 1969. It's a folk singer-songwriter album with a definite downer vibe and some amazing sort of stream of consciousness vocals. It gets singular, or it gets like kind of like F.J. McMahon, Spirit of Golden Juice. It gets like that territory. It's not like a ex-Vietnam record or anything like that, but he's got a sort of lived in sort of experience that he's talking about on this record. And the song Charlottetown is incredible. Some really cool guitar. This is the Drag City reissue / Galactic Zoo disc, who I usually collect. No insert or anything. Nice hype sticker. But I think this album is going to be a mega one. The ones that originals are going to come out are going to go up. Or it's just going to become something that's going to be even unattainable. So I'm more than happy to have this reissue. Derek, thanks for shouting this one out. I've been talking this record up to everyone here, and we're going to have multiple copies at the store to sell. It's awesome. Drag City label. Bill Stone. It's just called Stone. Alright, some more second rate, but above. I pulled this one out to play the other day at Human Expression. This is the Mississippi compilation of their singles and some alternates called Love at Psychedelic Velocity. This is fantastic. This is the first edition. I think it's got the insert and everything in there. Oh yeah, it's got the 45. This is like top rate garage psych with some really cool effects to it. They were a California group, I believe. Yep, Orange County, 67, 68. Licensed from Psychedelic. This is a great record. I think this is still gettable. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. But kind of looking like a little bit like West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band there. Optical sounds amazing. Love the title track is amazing. All of this is great. I hadn't heard it in a while, so I pulled it out to play, and it's I definitely didn't think it was going anywhere. Is it top rate? I think the singles that are on here make it obviously a keeper, but the other stuff is okay. Amazing. So, maybe not quite second rate.
Create an optical sound.
This is called Second Rate Psych. This one is great, but not something I want to listen to all the time. The cycle is complete by Bruce Palmer, bass player from Buffalo Springfield. There's only solo effort. This is sort of this is on the Verb Forecast label. He's stretching out, he's experimenting. It's sort of like does ragas and sort of some hippy dippy experimentation, which I always dig. Dated, but I dig it. Nice gatefold. This is from '69. I think it is. Yeah. I got this at a record show. Got it's like something you get a $30 or $40 record, but I got it for $20. And it's like 2 side-long tracks, I think, mostly. Yeah, well, mostly 16:45 and 10 minutes, 8 minutes. Anyway, cool vibe though. I like when some of the psych dudes are trying to go long-winded and stretch out a bit. And Bruce Palmer, who knew he had this album in him? I don't know. Great cover though. Love the cover. Buffalo Springfield is also one of my all-time favorite bands too. Because Neil Young is in the band, you know. Here's one this is good, but it's a little second rate. It's staying. Yankee Dollar. Kind of a classic West Coast sound. I have the 45-2 of Sanctuary. Really good rocker. Good vocalist. She's good. She's very good. This is like it's kind of been priced up way more than it should be. I think this should be like in the $30, $40 range, and you might be able to find it. This has got the promo stamp. I don't know if there were promo labels on this, but this tends to be people looking for $75, $80 on this, and I don't think it's quite that good. So I call it second rate in that regard. But when it comes to West Coast Psych, this band I think is definitely of the stronger. It's got the stronger material going on. And they kind of have the Charlatans vibe going on, which I do have that record and like that record on Phillips. But these are all sort of cookers. Yankee Dollar. This next one is also one I thought could go the way of second rate Psych, but this is the id on RCA. This is a mono copy from 1969. Paul Arnold created and produced this one. Is this a Jerry Cole? I think it might be. I forget. Who are the id? Yeah, Cole is writing a song on here. But this is a great album. Get some experiments. The Inner Sound of the id, that long track is great. And Boil the Kettle Mother, awesome. You do have 2 Cole compositions here. I love this album. I love the black RCA Victor labels on it. It's good. This is one that I had. I used to have the reissue, one of the first reissues of it, I guess it was, on World and Sound. And I saw this at a record show and thought, like, oh, it's going to be really expensive years ago. And it's not. It's not really. $25. I was just like super surprised to find it at that price. The Inner Sound of the great long cut there. They didn't do much else other than this, but this is super strong, super solid, and the monos is ripping. Okay, here's a great late night sort of ballady, sort of moody record that you would not think it would be. Federal Duck on the Music-Core label. I had some notes on this. Orchestral poppy, Beatles, piano, a little bit of horns, mystical I wrote. A bit like, but ballady. So yeah, not amazing, but this is a grower. Not the nicest sleeve, but it's sort of a mysterious tone to it. On the Music-Core label. This one's on the newer side for me. It's only within the last couple of years I got this. So it deserves some more listens, so it was pulled out in the idea that maybe I'm missing something about it and don't need it, but no, I think this one's going to stick around. I like when psych records sort of take on their own, go down their own path. Like they use some of the well-worn sounds that I love that are great. Sometimes maybe overplayed or sort of maybe a bit dated, but this one, I can play it right now. It's late night here. It's that kind of record. It's just the cover just throws you off. You think that it would like be a little more like Puff or Fluff or one of those MGM Good records, though.
Where have I gone? Away from you, never to find.
Here's a great garage psych. This is a compilation of the Lemon Drops, Crystal Pure, I Live in the Springtime. What an amazing song. But the whole first side is Super Scorcher. Super Scorcher. This is the reissue from like the 80s on Psychedelic. I think this is definitely gettable. These guys were super young. I had some notes on this one. Garage pop. Flowery garage pop. Guitars sound like... Oh yeah, the guitar sound in this is great. They have like that organy, sort of like subdued, muted guitar sound, but I think that sounds great. I think they were trying to make guitars sound like organs, maybe? But yeah, they look super young. Look at these guys. But this whole thing's awesome. It's got the singles and some extra stuff. They never had an album. They were originally out of... Let's see if we can find it here. Chicago. And they were on the deluxe edition of the Nuggets comp. I think the CD box set, not the original. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they're on the original WLP, which I have here. Maybe I should pull out and consult it. Yes, I do. This is my promo. Yeah, no, they're not on this. They're not on this. They're on definitely on the box set that comes later. The CD box set, which was basically one of the sort of primers that got me into psych. But this Crystal Pure is great. The B-side's not, top rate, so this is kind of in the second rate category, but just for the first side, and I Live in the Springtime, this is awesome.
It happens every day. It happens every day. I love the same old way. I fight the same old way. I die the same old way.
Here's one this should probably be in this maybe sell pile, but The Crying Shames. It is called A Scratch in the Sky. Now the song on here, The Sailing Ship, is a psych monster. It is a killer song. It's got all the wash of effects. It's got the cool vocal, super fried sound, but then the rest of it is just second rate. Sunshiny Pop, I listened to Synthesis today, which I don't own, but the shop, Angry Mom, has a copy. I was like, oh wait, maybe this is the one I really need, because it's called Synthesis, and it's a real psych one. I couldn't get past the first side. Someone tell me different. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? No. This is the stereo. Columbia. A couple more. This band, now this is a Numero Group archival reissue, and I'm pretty sure this is under $10. And it's rural psych, which I love. It's out of the Midwest. It's from '69, and I've tried it to listen to it 3 times. I'm like positive that I do not need this, and it's great. It's called White Eyes. It's only 8 tracks. This has never been released before until, I think this was 2015. And Numero Group usually does great work. If they're doing this, there's got to be some... I mean, they did the Pisces album, which is incredible. The Studio Pisces project, which was like archival album that was released. I also have that here. The Pisces record is great. This is from May 1970 and November '69. Out of Missouri, almost positive. I think it says here. Yeah. And it's great. I wrote down here. What did I say? Country rock, rural sounds, great drumming. The first side's awesome. It's not going to knock your socks off. It's got a custom numero label. I don't really care for the sleeve design, just the eyes. It kind of, because they kind of tried to make it look like a private press thing. So I get that, but this is good. This is good, and being that it's so cheap, is it great the whole way through? Maybe not great, but the good parts to it really sold it. And just because it's so cheap, like, well, why? If I have enough tracks on it that make it if there's enough good parts to it, and it's only worth like $8, I should just keep it. If half of it's good, What's that gonna really do for me? So, but you know what? I don't even think there was any bad tracks. I think it was all really solid. It talks about Flying Burrito Brothers, Black Oak, Arkansas, and Bruin Shipley. I don't know about any of that. Blending acoustic and electric instrumentation, 3-part harmonies, and anti-Vietnam lyrics. That's good. Previously unissued LP holds true to the acid-drenched sounds of the Woodstock era. White Eyes. ABCs of Psych video wrapped up. I'll do another one in a week or two with another topic, another Psych topic. This is my series I'm trying to do. This is one I always have a hard time pinning down, but when I put it on, I'm like, is this a record I need? This is just cool. It's cool. It's got a singer-songwriter sort of studio project. You know, kind of a... Is it a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young type vibe? I don't know. I just got to show this thing. Whistler, Chaucer, Greenhill, and Whistler, Chaucer, Detroit, and Greenhill on the Uni label. This is a nice copy in the shrink. And only one album. I think they did do a single on the Uni label. And it is sort of a rural rock record. It doesn't get too crazy, doesn't flip out or anything like that. It's just a nice album, a little like Euphoria. I have some notes on this one. Rural vocal melodies, a bit out. I wrote a little novelty-esque, but good. I wrote something about funky slow rock. I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to tell you what song is good on here because it's just sort of one that just flows nicely between tracks. Got a good late night vibe, which I always like with Psych. It doesn't have to all be ripping garage sort of, you know, scorched tunes. But the unwritten works of Jeffrey, etc. from 1969. Yeah, I've seen this kind of go high in value and I've seen it low. I've seen copies for $15 and I've seen them for $100. I don't know. I don't know what the true worth is. But I do know that it is second rate. It's not incredible, but it is good. And that is good enough for me. That's my second rate Psych video. ABCs of Psych. Seeking a Thread. More videos to come. I think I'm going to work on... I've teased a lot of different videos. My next one will either be a private press sort of feature on some of Private Press originals, or another label focus. We'll see. I'm waiting on the contest. I'm going to let that give some time. There's still a lot of contests out there. But I'm really having fun doing these VC videos. It's good stuff. It's helping me appreciate the records I have, and I really do like showing what everyone else has got. Live stream, I will try another DJ set live stream very soon. I just need to get a new mixer, I think, and potentially a different sort of connective technique to my computer, my iMac. Thank you, folks. Seeking a Thread. Good night to you. See ya.